Hello and welcome to the Black Cat Bushcraft channel. Today I had a quick idea I wanted to share with you utilizing tent stakes. If you're like me, you carry a emergency space blanket shelter set up in your pack. So I carry that emergency space blanket with all the things that I'll need to set that shelter up in a moment's notice. And basically, I always carry 4 stakes with me. I usually carry ABS plastic stakes just because they're light and they're easy to carry. However, I've been toying around with the idea of carrying metal stakes because these stakes are multifunctional. This is one of the ideas I had. Stick with me and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, what I have here is just 4 metal stakes. These happen to be aluminum, but you could use stainless or any type of metal. Should work for this purpose. What I'm going to do is drive this in the ground in my fire pit. Basically a north, south, east, west configuration. I actually want them to be pretty close together. What this is going to do is create an improvised pot or pan holder or stand that I can use to get my pan up off the fire. So this makes an actually really steady little pot or pan holder for cooking, and it now turns those tent stakes, which only served one purpose before, into a multifunctional item. Makes them just that much more valuable in my kit. Alright, so I've got some coals for my fire just kind of drug out here under the pot stand, and I really don't have anything with me to cook today, so I'm just going to put some water in the pan and see if I can bring that to a boil. Alright, I looked at my cell phone and it was 2:21 when I put this on the stand, so we'll see how long it takes to boil this water. You can see I got my fire going here to the side, but I can just rake coals underneath of this as I want to. And obviously I could lower it down closer, but sometimes depending on what you're cooking, you don't want your pan right on the coals as it'll burn things really bad. So it's nice to get your pan up off the coals. Too, your coals can breathe this way, air can get to them, and so your coals last longer. You don't get that cold spot in your fire or in your coal bed. And this is already starting to sizzle right here. So you can see the water sizzling pretty good there. It literally took about 4 minutes to get that to start bubbling like that. And the nice thing about it is instead of it coming to a rolling boil, which lets me know I'm getting a ton of heat into that pan, it's like a slow cook, which depending on what you're cooking, that may really be more beneficial. If you put that pan right on the coals, it's going to burn the food. But with it being lifted up like that, it helps you control that heat just a little bit better. Well, as you can see, my steaks are no worse for the wear. Really, they're no more dirty than they would be if I just drove them in the ground anyway. And the nice thing about these being aluminum is aluminum cools off really quick. So once I pulled them out of the ground, it only took a minute or two for them to be cool enough for me to handle. One other purpose that these steaks come in really handy for is making a grill top that you can cook over. And I've seen other people use metal stakes for this purpose, and also long nails I've seen used for this as well. But basically what you would do is rake a coal bed in between 2 green logs, and you want to use green logs because they won't burn up as fast, and the logs become a stand for you to place your metal stakes on. And with that you create a grill top. Now that'll be a very solid surface that you can use to cook with a pan or a pot. Or if you keep the steaks close together, you could literally cook meat directly on those steaks. Obviously the heat's going to sterilize the steak, so that's not a concern. You just clean the dirt off. But that would be an easy way that you could cook meat over coals using a pan, pot, or directly on the grill top. But you can see the sausage is cooking up really nice here, and I probably picked something a little challenging to cook being round like this, so I kind of had to play with it to keep it from burning. If you wanted to get your meat a little bit higher up off the coals, then you could just use a bigger diameter log here, and that would obviously get you a little bit more height. But this is actually working well, and this sausage is about done here. I'm just trying hard not to burn it in one spot, so I'm keeping it moving back and forth. It turned out pretty good, I think. Did a nice job. All right, well, I hope you guys found this to be a handy little tip. And for me personally, whenever I carry an item in my kit, I want to really analyze that item and see if there's any other purposes that it can serve for me when I'm in my camp or in the woods. And so by switching those plastic stakes out for metal stakes, that's just one other way that I can use those. Carrying plastic stakes is not a bad thing, and I will still carry those in my kit. But if I'm coming out to camp and I'm bushcrafting and just enjoying myself, I can switch out those stakes for no extra weight and probably less bulk, and have the extra purpose of using it in my cooking system. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I look forward to talking to you with another video very soon. And until that one, take care and God bless.